Afternoon. We know you've got a couple of suspensions, but could you just run us through any others that you have or haven't got available, just for a bit of team news, please, Graham?
Yeah, like you say, we know Lewis, no Neil, Joel Veltman still recovering, so the game might come too soon for him. Davy Propper had a problem with his ankles, so he just rolled his ankle, so again that might come too soon for him. And then we just got the lot, Solly and Tariq. Apart from that, we should be okay.
And we haven't spoken to you since safety was assured. So you've done it with a few games to spare and by kind of a decent points margin, I guess, in the end. But there's always, I guess, that worry in the back of your mind until it is done and dusted. So when the Fulham result came through, what were the emotions? Were you watching the game?
Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say I was happy, relieved, all those emotions that you'd expect, because, like you say, until you have the points, as we said, you have to keep fighting. That's how it is, and you have to respect the league. You have to respect the opposition. Anything can happen in football, so keep going until it's mathematically impossible for the situation to go the other way. And after the result, it means that we're mathematically safe. We're secured in the season, and we're very happy with that. At
times, it got maybe a little bit grim, a little bit kind of worrying. I spoke to Adam Webster, and he said, around Christmas time, the players pulled themselves in and spoke quite honestly to each other, and he felt that was the turning point for him in terms of pulling yourselves away from that drop. So what do you feel was the reason you stayed up and stayed away from that, the bottom three all season?
Yeah, I think we've had a good group, an honest group that have been together, that have whenever we've had moments of struggle that we've dealt with in a calm, professional, honest way. You're not going to go through a season where everything's going to be perfect, and you're not going to have these setbacks, and I think it's how you deal with them is really, really important, and I think we've always done that. We've done that in a good way, and that means that you can keep going, you can keep the scoreboard ticking over in terms of keep collecting points. We've improved our performances in terms of how we've played. We've done a lot well, but we haven't been able to turn them into the results, and we know how important that is. So, but credit to the players, they've kept going. I think we've developed the team, we've developed the individuals. What we need to do is improve the points tally, and that's the work.
Yeah, because talking to him, he sort of said, obviously safety was our first aim this season, but we really felt that we should be higher. Yes, we've improved, but there's a little bit of frustration that maybe you haven't kicked on. Did you share that?
Well, I can understand it's frustration because we are where we are and we've got the points we've got, and in the world we're in, that's all that people are focused on, and that's how it is. But I also think that it's our job and our responsibility to analyse the performance, to see, okay, how likely is it for those points to either stay the same or improve? Because sometimes you can look at teams and you say, they've got 37 points, but they've been lucky to get those 37 points. Or if things turn the other way, the margins go against them, then it could be a problem. I don't think that's the case for us. I don't think we can say we've got 37 points and we're really lucky to have got them. I think it's the other way, if I'm being truthful. But that's fine. We just have to understand that and then look to get better. That's all we can do.
Yeah, 5 years in the Prem with that, so that's a record for Brighton, isn't it? Which is a great achievement when you look at some of the clubs that have kind of gone down and up and down again. Where next? How do you go about getting this side into the top 10? That's, I guess, the next aim for you, isn't it? It's not that many points, is it? But how do you go about rebuilding and going again next year?
Well, firstly, we have to finish off this season as well as we can and perform as well as we can, because there's 3 important games for us to play, and that's the certainly the main focus. And then we have to recover and reflect and understand that we've been through quite a tough season and a half, I think, with pretty tough circumstances. and we've managed to navigate ourselves, so that we're still in the Premier League, and we've also improved as a team in terms of our performances. Then it's always, I'm always a believer that that's the challenge. The challenge of the coach is to try to improve the team, to try to improve the performance of the players, the individuals. We'll look at the summer, see how we can help the group, and then we'll be reporting back and looking to carry on.
Just a couple more from me. After the game, you said you're going to go and have a look at the Neil Maupay red cards. I think you didn't really want to comment on it before. He's obviously been charged by the FA. What are your thoughts on it? Have you spoken to him about it? And is there, how big a concern is kind of an incident like that?
Well, I think it's clearly not Neil's finest moment, and I think he understands that and would admit that, and it's something for us to learn about and learn from. And then we need to make sure that it doesn't happen again. It's as simple as that. No one's perfect. Sometimes emotions run away, and you do things that maybe you regret. But it's important that when that happens, you say, "Yep, we're sorry," and we'll try our very best for it not to happen again.
And just finally, from me, the proposed new TV deal that was announced this morning, it's obviously not quite done yet, but I think the standout kind of word through it is stability, and you mentioned how tough the last year and a half has been for everyone in the world, clearly football as well. 100 million is set to be distributed down the pyramids, and you've spoken so passionately about what football clubs mean to communities, and I guess when you hear a number like that, this has to be good news, doesn't it, for the grassroots, for the women's game, for those clubs that have really struggled over these COVID times?
Well, yeah, I mean, forgive me, I haven't seen the detail, and I don't know exactly what it looks like, but in general terms, I think, of course, it's, as you say, we've been through a lot of pain, a lot of not just football, everybody has, and I suppose it's about how we can help each other through, how we can provide the best framework, the best conditions, so that everybody can get back on their feet as quickly as possible.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Graham.
Hi.
David, PLP. Congratulations, firstly, on another season in the Premier League to look forward to. Turning attention to Saturday's game, though, West Ham, they've got a lot of that they're fighting for, European places. How do you approach that game?
Well, as we always do, we want to try and win the game. We want to play well. We want to be positive, but we also respect our opponent, and especially with the season that David Moyes and West Ham have had, they deserve a lot of credit, because to fight for the Champions League spots at this point is an incredible effort from them. So we have to make sure we're ready for that.
And you mentioned earlier that the 3 games still left to play, all to play for in terms of points and final positions. How important is that final position in the league table?
Well, clearly, the higher up, the better for us. We've achieved our, if you like, base goal, which is to make sure that we stay in the Premier League and to use all the experiences that we've had this year and the performances that we've had to improve and make sure we're here again next year. So we've done that, and then we want to try and finish off with as many points as we can. The boys are ambitious. The boys want to do it, so we'll try. We've got 3, tough games. We've got 3 teams that are really strong, but that's the beauty of it. We need to compete against them and do our best.
And maybe now there's a little bit of time for reflection on the season. Obviously, you've got to finish it, but you start to look back. Is there anything significantly that you would have done differently at this point? I'm not talking about, maybe style, but anything that you would change?
No, to be honest, I wouldn't be in a position to give you that answer now. There's nothing that sticks out of me. I think we'll reflect and we'll look back and analyse the season. I think that's what the summer is good for, that you can take a step away from the the sort of environment of getting points and just focusing on the next match. But I think the coaching process is always a little bit imperfect, so to speak, in terms of you're not going to get everything right all the time. The players aren't going to get everything right. I'm not going to get everything right all the time. It's just the key is how you respond, how you learn, how you improve. And from the players' perspective, I think they've done that, and that's what we're happy with.
And obviously there will always be speculation about transfers and people coming in over the summer and before the start of the new season. Is that something you're looking forward to, strengthening, having a look around and bringing some new blood in?
Well, one thing I'll say is I'm happy with this group. It's not like I can sit here and say no, this group's at the maximum. They can't improve. They can't get better. I think they can, absolutely, and that's exciting for us. So it's not like I'm sitting here desperate to do anything at all. But as I always say, the job of a football club, and when the window starts to be open again, is to always look to see if there's a way to improve and to strengthen the group. And we'll be no different in that time.
And just going back quickly to West Ham and David Moyes, you mentioned the job he's done there, the experience he's got in the Premier League, the job he did at Everton, the tough times at Man United. Can you give us a little insight into what you know about him and what his strengths are and how he's done that job at West Ham?
Well, I don't know David that well at all, just from brief conversations on the side, so it wouldn't be fair for me to give an in-depth, but I can just look from an outside, his career, how full of respect I am of him and how he's dealt with the challenges that football throws up, and has always conducted himself with incredible integrity and professionalism. I think the way that he's turned West Ham around is there for everybody to see. Always a team with talent, always a team with good players. They've invested a lot over a few windows, but haven't quite got the team, shall we say. But I think now you can see that, and that's a credit to David and his staff. He I always remember he came to see me when my father passed away just before we played them at last year, and it was a nice touch. He didn't have to do that, but it just shows the type of person he is, and yeah, I've got huge respect and admiration for him.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Hi Graham, how you doing?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Graham, is it important to celebrate the fact that you have retained your Premier League status? Yes, Brighton have got aspirations to do some great things over the next few years, but is it important to mark this moment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not dancing around and we're not, all that sort of stuff, but I think we can be happy. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? To a certain extent, we can be happy. We can be proud that we can stay in the Premier League, because a lot of teams, can't do it and don't do it, and it's so ferocious, the competition, that yes, I mean, like I said, we're still frustrated a little bit. We're still disappointed. We can still improve, but at the same time, yeah, we're happy to be there again.
And you spoke about the fact you've achieved the base goal of remaining in the Premier League. Looking ahead to next season, will that still be the case? Will that still be the first thing that you need to achieve? Yes,
because I have such respect for the league, and I have respect for the opposition and the opponent. And this league, there's probably 6 or 7, 8 teams maybe, but for the rest, it should always be probably the first goal, the first point of call, get there, and then you can start to think, okay, what else can we achieve? For us, what I try to do is try to look at the likelihood, as if we maintain our performance level, how likely is it that we can get the results we've got or improve? And that's when I analyse it in that way, I'm positive and I'm excited for the future. But always you have to start with the same humility, same respect for the Premier League.
I know you've got 3 important games coming up, but is there any reason why next season you can't replicate what West Ham have done this season, considering the year they had beforehand? They're now in a position where they're challenging towards the top of the table.
Well, like I say, West Ham have invested a lot of money over a period of time, I think, in fairness, when you look back. And I think it's credit to David that he's stabilised things in the last year and now has improved again with a talented group of players. But of course, it's football. Anything's possible. But this year we tried to focus on finishing the season off. We try and focus on having a break, recovering, and then going again. And as I said before, just try to improve. That's the key.
And finally from me, in terms of the next challenge for this side, is it converting all these brilliant performances into a brilliant points tally?
Well, yeah, that's what we'll try to do. It sounds easy, but yeah, that's the work. Unfortunately, there's always an opponent on the pitch that makes it difficult for you, and etc., and they want the points as well. But we've had a lot of draws, we've had a lot of good performances. We're nearly there, but sometimes you can be nearly there and be far away. And as I've said, I'm going to repeat: performances give me a sense that we can maintain and improve our points tally. But it won't just happen. We have to make sure that happens, and that's where the finish off the season, having the break, and then starting again next year.
Brilliant. Thanks, Graham.
No worries.
Hi, Graham. Just coming back to the squad. Adam Lallana, is he available, and how's he feeling after his layoff?
Yeah, he trained fully today, Johnny. So again, we'll see how he is over the next 24, 48 hours. But available for the squad, I would say at this point.
Brilliant. And just in terms of, I know you're missing Lewis and you're missing Neil. It's 6 red cards this season. Is there any concern over the impact that these suspensions are having on you?
Well, yeah, I think you have to be concerned, because that's a time where you've got players that are not available. You know, we played well against Newcastle, and I think Eves got sent off, and you lose him, and for every player you lose, you have to find another solution and adjust the team. At the start of the season, I think we lost Lewis after Crystal Palace, so again there's a readjustment that has to happen there. It's part of the game, of course, it's part of football, but in an ideal world you don't want it to happen. But whenever you lose a player, whenever you lose a starting player, then there's a whether it's from suspension or from injury, Tariq Lamptey or Solly March or Adam Webster when we lost Adam, there's a bit where the team then has to readjust, and that's where you can lose a little bit of fluidity, a little bit of the performance. So we've managed to navigate it all pretty well, but still, as I said, we can improve, and that's an area I think we need to improve.
With the suspensions, though, you get an opportunity to give to other players. How big an opportunity is this for maybe some of the other attacking players? I'm thinking Connolly, Zakiri, Tao, who haven't really had a chance because you've had a relatively familiar side recently.
Well, yeah, there's always opportunity, and I think that. But the thing is, we need to make sure that we're competitive. We want to win the game. We want to play the team that we think is the best team to give us the chance to win the points. So that's up to the guys, and they're pushing. Everybody wants to play, and then it's just a case of making the decision. But yeah, it's an opportunity, as I said. Couple of injuries, couple of suspensions. We need to use the group. We've got a big week coming up with 3 big games. So there's all there to play for, and things change in football very quickly.
They just won on West Ham United. They've got a former Seagull in their ranks, Jesse Lingard. Is he potentially one of the loan signings of the season?
Yeah, he must be up there, mustn't he? He's had a tremendous impact. It's really good for him, because it just shows. I always say it's not necessarily how you handle the good times; it's how you handle the bad times, and then respond. And you can see that I think Jesse's had a frustrating period in his career, but now he's enjoying playing. He's enjoying helping his team. So again, it's another example of what it is to be a top professional. It's to deal with the setbacks and make sure that when you get your opportunity there, you're ready to play. And credit to him for doing that.